Well, good morning, everyone. This is my first World Petrochemical Conference, and I heard a lot this morning about the global tsunami of growth that we've got coming. I look around the room and say, who in God's name is selling all this material? They're all here right now. So a very amazing group. Also, the panelists, I'm excited to hear the consistency around commitment and unity for change. But I do have some slides to review with you, but I thought what would be best to start out would show you a brief video of how Barry's thinking about the possibilities of plastics.
If you had a mission to protect the things that are most important, where would you start? Probably at home. Keeping what you eat, drink, and put on your body safe. Ensuring that the products that make your home cleaner and your family happier are easy to use and deliver what they promised. Then you would help others. Going to hospitals, healthcare facilities, and pharmacies around the world to help protect the medications healthcare professionals use to save their patients. All while keeping both patients and doctors safe while they work. Then you would look bigger, to where and how we live, helping to keep our buildings and transportation safe for those who use it, and improving the way we farm and grow the foods that feed us all. This is our mission at Berry. And to accomplish this, we partner with our suppliers, our communities, and the world's leading and emerging brands to protect all of our products, our health, and the way we live, so that we all may have a better tomorrow.
So the mission of our company, always advancing to protect what's important. And I'd be remiss as the chairman and CEO if I didn't take a brief opportunity to tell you a little bit about our company and our humble beginnings. We're approaching $8 billion in revenue, 136 manufacturing facilities around the world. We serve the who's who, and frankly, just about everybody in this room at some form, at some point in their day, probably uses one of our products. It touches them in some way or the other. A very diverse set of manufacturing platforms serving the rigid plastics business, the flexible package business, our product protection solutions business throughout the world. We're very fortunate to have celebrated recently our 50th anniversary as a company. We're a product of 44 acquisitions that have been done over the last 30 years, where our focus has been on making certain that we take the best people, the best practices, the best processes to create one culture. One Berry culture, so that we can always speak with a unified voice. The industry we're in, we're incredibly excited about. We believe we reside in the low-cost manufacturing region of the world with 80% of our business in North America. We continue to expand internationally, but the base and the platform that we're building off of here in the United States is very attractive. The industry's a good one. Our strength of our business, we're fortunate to have. We're going to continue to grow. And we believe there's tremendous opportunities to build off that strength. But why I came here, really wasn't so much to talk about how's an expansion going or what's the next acquisition Berry's going to do. It really was about perspective of a resin user and what's going on in our industry. So before we talk about the specifics of this upcycle that we've heard mentioned this morning, or currency headwinds, or what's going to happen relative to the tariffs that have been talked about throughout the United States and how it's going to impact the economy, I want us to expand on perspective a little more broadly. Perspective is what we see and how we view the world, but it's also how the world sees us. And frankly, how we see ourselves and how the world sees us today, those are diametrically opposed perspectives, in my view. So let me tell you how we see ourselves at Berry. We're one team, 24,000 strong, working together to advance an industry. One team, one Berry. As you take a broader view of our industry, plastics, petrochemicals, the lens broadens that much further. But we're still one big team. 2 million people working in this industry. Third largest manufacturing industry in the United States. Has an economic impact of $500 billion to our economy. We in this room, you've heard it. We all see the benefits and the impact our industry has and how we're making people's lives better. But I will tell you what, I would contend that what we see right now doesn't matter nearly as much as how the outside world sees us. This is how the outside world sees us. This is what they see when they look at our team. This team, my team. This is what they see. Today, I propose we take a far more united step as an industry to tell a new story. How many times have anybody in this room ever been faced with these types of pictures, these types of conversations, and simply walked away or changed the subject rather than engaging? Any of you? The last time you saw this, talked about this, and didn't feel prepared to talk about our industry's positive contributions should be the last. We acknowledge our shortcomings, no doubt. And in this room, in our industry, on our team, we can all recite the efforts that we're taking, individually, as a group, as a particular industry business, or a end user, or a resin converter, or a resin or petrochemical manufacturer. But how well that message gets out is important. But a bigger point that you heard mentioned earlier this morning, what about all the other positive things that this industry creates for the betterment of people around the world? The possibilities of plastics. Plastics makes extraordinary human achievement possible. Plastics is changing lives every day, making lives better. 40% of the food purchased in the United States gets thrown out. Yet consumers are largely uneducated about the benefits of plastics to actually preserve it that much longer. Plastics can and is fundamentally improving individuals' lives. It's changing lives. It's saving lives. But it's just the beginning. Think of what we can accomplish through further innovation. It's time for us to tell a new story about the progress that plastics has supported, the promise that plastics holds for everyday lives around the world, and the potential to transform the human experience. It's time to talk about the possibilities of plastics together. At Berry, we've recently introduced a new program called Plastics Ambassadors. We shipped out these cards. They're small gestures, if you will, printed with key points, reminders about the positive impact that we have, not just through Berry, but as an industry. The thought, frankly, is to take our 24,000 employees of the 2+ million in our industry and make them ambassadors. Educate them to defend our industry, to create a positive view of what we do, of how we all make a living. Requires less energy and natural resources. It generates a fraction of the greenhouse gas emission of alternatives. Allows for lightweighting, increased efficiency for transportation and freight. Takes 4.1 pounds of an alternate material to ultimately replace 1 pound of plastics. I don't have to tell you all in this room, there's no more versatile, flexible, raw material that makes people's lives better on the planet than plastics. I agree. We are running an internal campaign, so every single canteen we have around our business, 136 sites, every shift, educating, promoting what the industry is doing, what the facts are about our industry. I suspect you all have similar programs. If there's aspects of this you can steal shamelessly, do it. But the reality is, if you need help, reach out. Bill Carto's here from the Plastics Industry Association. Mia Quinn are here. She's here. They can help you pull it together, but in a united way, in collaboration. We've got to be the ambassadors of our industry and be ready to talk with one voice about the possibilities of plastics. For all that we're doing from an environmental standpoint, we can't just go out and make that beach disappear. And we'll have to keep doing everything we can to improve our environmental impact. But we can and we must create a different vision of how we project ourselves. We need to invest as an industry. We are the key drivers to how we're perceived. We can no longer sit back and take it. That's why we at Berry are initiating this program, and we're engaging with resin suppliers and other partners to work strategically together to tackle this challenge. Let's work together as one team to tell a better story about our industry, about our impact, about the possibilities of plastics. Thank you.